Okay, before I get started on my talk, I thought I'd just give a bit of a disclaimer about what I'm not. I'm not a neuroscientist, I'm not an anthropologist, I'm not a biologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a neurosurgeon, I'm not a paleontologist. I am, however, single. And I think the best research is done out in the field, so I'm going to give you a few of my insights. Now, before I take you on this journey, I need to give you a bit of a biology lesson to explain the 3 brain systems that are associated with love. So, firstly, we've got the sex drive, which is all about your testosterone. Secondly, you've got romantic love, which is your dopamine. And then you've got deep attachment, which is your dopamine and your oxytocin. Now, elevating and suppressing these chemicals in the brain is directly related to you falling in and out of love. Now, just to give you a bit of a working example, the way this used to work is you used to go down to your local milk bar or disco and you used to be on the hunt for a partner. Now, that's your sex drive, that's your testosterone. Then you'd pluck up the courage and you'd ask them out on a date and you'd wine and dine them, act mysterious and coy, probably won't text them back, and you'd go on adventures, make them laugh. Now, this is all raising the dopamine levels in your brain, allowing you to fall in love. Now, finally, you want to create some sort of deep attachment. Now, this is done with dopamine and oxytocin, and this is raised when you have an orgasm, or oxytocin when you're hugging, kissing, nurturing, and even saying the L word. Now, digital technologies have completely changed the way that we elevate and suppress these chemicals in the brain. So now, your milk bar and your disco is right in the palm of your hand in the form of Tinder, RSVP, Happen. There's hundreds of them. So is the sex drive now redundant? Not quite. So I did a bit of research and I found the new way that people are using testosterone to find a mate, and that's through their profile pictures. And I kid you not, that is a cocaine heart. I swiped right on that one. And funnily enough, because most men's definition of masculinity was the same, there was an amazing trend forming. Tigers. Again, I kid you not. Ladies, who could resist a man with a tiger? These were all swipe right. Now, it's not just your sex drive, not just your testosterone that's been affected, it's also your dopamine. Now, dopamine travels all different neural pathways, but the one we're interested in is actually in the reward centre of the brain. Now, this is the same place that lights up when you feel a rush of cocaine. So romantic love isn't an emotion, it's a drive, it's a want, it's a need. Now, how do we elevate levels of dopamine? That's through moments of high stress, that's through laughter, which is why the funny guy always gets the girl. It's through winning and achieving goals. So you can kind of start to see the connection forming there. You know, simply flicking through Tinder, you could be dramatically increasing your dopamine levels and allowing yourself to fall in love. You know, every match is a win, or laughing at their hilarious descriptions, or sending that first message and anxiously waiting for a response. Who said Tinder wasn't for falling in love? Now, whenever there's something good, there's always someone willing to exploit it. So hands up if you've heard of those stories about people losing hundreds of thousands of dollars to online dating scams. Yep. And you've just thought, what the hell are you thinking? Now, there's obviously something more at play here, and it has to do with our little friend oxytocin. Oxytocin is actually known as the moral molecule because increased levels of oxytocin make us become more trustworthy. Now, how do we elevate levels of oxytocin? That was through hugging, through eye contact, through saying the L word. Simply looking at someone or talking to someone that you fancy on Facebook elevates the levels of oxytocin in your brain. So, and if you've ever heard any of these stories, they all sound very, very similar. So the perpetrator takes the relationship offline very quickly. It escalates very quickly. They start sending them small gifts. They're saying that they love you and they can't believe their life ever existed without you. Then they ask for the cash. And by this stage, their oxytocin levels are through the roof, so can you blame them? So digital technologies have completely removed any sort of geographical barriers that once were and opened us up to this world of opportunity of love, but obviously risk as well. And also completely changed the way we elevate and suppress these chemicals in the brain. Now, at the end of the day, it's just emulating the traditional dating environment. So I think it's time we start embrace these technologies. I mean, hands up if you've used Tinder, RSVP, Happen. Oh, come on! I don't believe it for a second. I'm on it all the time. So it's time that we started to embrace them and actually understand what they're used for and embrace this new form of falling in love, because at the end of the day, it's in our core, it's as human beings, it's in our DNA to love and be loved. And as Dr. Helen Fisher said, a world without love would be a very scary place indeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna.